Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. Uh, Somebody my wife texted me actually. Not a whole lot to say here. I'm just a couple of things on the most recent episode of Succession on HBO. This was episode 8, Chiantishire or Chiantishire or whatever. It looks like the wine Chianti and then Shire behind it. The interesting development here is that HBO, they previewed the next episode will be the finale for the season, for season 3. And that's only 9 episodes. So maybe we lost an episode due to COVID-19 protocol or something. But only 9 episodes instead of the usual 10. Some interesting things here are maybe the finale gives us a way for Kendall, who's been estranged the entire season, has been on an island by himself. But maybe the family finds itself in a moment where they need him because each of the siblings has, his or her strength that they bring to the table. And I think one of the things that the feather in Kendall's cap was the fact that he seemed to be fully aware of kind of like the operational side of everything. My wife texted me again. So where we're leaving off in this episode, at the end of this episode, is they need to make this deal with Gojo, I think is the name of the company that this Madsen guy is the head of, and he doesn't want to do a deal with them because he's a major CEO and powerful guy or whatever in his own way, and he developed his app with his own hands and knows how to make it all work. And he only wants to be married, quote unquote, to businesses or other businesses who he really likes. And so he's kind of he could use, I guess, the power and the market share that Waystar RoyCo has, but he's what they've been labeling as tech. He fits the new, with all the digital content that's out there. And that's what he's a specialist in. And that's why they're interested in him, is because he's going to upgrade their, the way that their company can be accessed via, smartphones and whatnot. So I think Kendall, while he's down pretty bad in this episode, he tried to have a meeting with his father and try to negotiate being bought out so he could go on about his business. He sees that he's not getting what he wants the way that he thought he could make it happen at the beginning of the season. And so he's trying to give up, but his father is kind of playing hardball with him, and his father realizes that he has all the leverage and is kind of just taking advantage of him. But like I said, we had Roman come in and has kind of somewhat brokered the deal, but is unable to get the ball across the goal line. And I think he's done the most that he could do. So now it might be time, like I said, for Kendall to really show he's worth his salt. And that's maybe how they can have some kind of reunion going into the 4th season. Not a whole lot of screen time for Sanaa Lathan, who was brought in this season as a lawyer. Seemed like she only had like 3 or 4 episodes in this season. I was hoping to see a little bit more from her, but she might be done. The other big thing here is we really see Shiv, the daughter, we really see her take her mask off and really reveal just how badly damaged she is. We thought, we know Kendall is the drug addict and just frustrated because he can't take the next step in what he wants to do in terms of leading the firm. And then we've known all along that Roman is messed up, sexually or whatever, relationship wise. He's screwed up. So here we really see just how badly damaged goods Shiv is. And what Shiv has made up her mind to do is to truly take it to a mattress and really fight to be respected and to put herself in place to succeed as the successor to her father. And she's tired of kind of being undermined and left out of certain decisions that and toyed around with by Logan. So now she's kind of accepting the challenge and taking it personally. And her thing is, she obviously with Kendall on the sideline with his own thing, now it seems like she just needs to take care of her brother Roman, who's been on a good run with a couple of moves that he's made lately. But Roman leaves an opening in the fact that he accidentally sends this dick pic to his father ahead of this board meeting instead of sending it to its intended recipient, Jerry, who's the interim CEO. So this was actually a hilarious scene, but I thought this episode in general kind of was one of the better of the season. I did forget to mention in the previous Succession video, I thought the Adrian Brody cameo was good, was excellent. But here, like I've said this in this podcast that I haven't posted yet, but the Good Old Boys Club, the patriarchal / white male frat working environment. Here's where this dick pic gets sent to the father, to Logan, and Logan gets pissed off about it. They're just getting out of this DOJ investigation and being able to get back to regular operations. And now here we have some kind of inappropriate behavior going on at the CEO level and, in the C-suite or whatever you want to say. And Logan says, I need 5 after he realizes, after he sees the image and knows he has to get in his son's ass really quickly. But Shiv jumps up and follows her father out of the boardroom and really goes to stick the knife all the way in Roman's back. And really kind of stressing that dad, he's a weak link. Everybody was aware that he was doing this inappropriate stuff with Jerry. And it gives her 2 birds with 1 stone. She's kind of questioning what Jerry is, whether she's just like a straw man, because she wants to be CEO. So now because she hasn't nipped this problem in the bud, she can make Jerry look weak. And then because of Roman's inappropriate behavior as the CEO, COO, or whatever, chief CFO, whatever he is right now, it's a way to make him look like a liability as well. So then she goes and she sets that in motion by telling her father, we can't afford stuff like this right now. We just got on good standing with the case going away, and he's exposing us to different, to new risks. So then she goes out of the room as Roman comes into the room to be, admonished or whatever, to get his ass chewed by Logan. Then Siobhan meets Jerry for a little breakout meeting, and she really tries to manipulate Jerry and put her under her thumb. Like, look, cooperate with me and maybe me and you can work something out. Or if you don't want to go along with this, then I'm going to use this to take you down too. But Jerry, this isn't her first rodeo. And she's a lawyer. So she kind of understands how they're exposed here. And she's like, Shiv asked her if she wants to file a complaint. And Jerry, like I said, with her lawyer background, she's like, nah, I'll get to it if I want to. So I thought that was some good back and forth between all of them. The meeting with between Logan and his son Roman, he doesn't really check Roman for what he did. Now he fully understands how badly his son is screwed up and how he could be a liability. And he doesn't really get on him for the fact that he was doing it. He does say that Jerry was 1,000,000 years old, so why is he fooling around with her? And then he asks about the girlfriend that he was aware of. But he really only comes at him because he's like, I just needed to know. He doesn't like the fact that he didn't know how severe his son's sexual perversion or deviancy or whatever it is. That's what he's pissed off about. He's not pissed off pretty much that what he was doing to Jerry for Jerry's sake. He's just like, why haven't I known about this? And that's what, that's how Logan controls everything. He's always aware of everything that's going on and is able to always have, another move to make to avert any type of, crisis or fallout or anything. So that was a bit telling, because here it is. Roman had been gaining so much momentum and coming across as such a capable, sibling. And now, because he has these issues and did something as foolish as sending a dick pic, now he's like, that knocks him back down again. And then you can already see that Logan, because when he kicks Shiv out of the room, he's like, I don't really appreciate this tattletale BS that you're doing. Thanks for letting me know about it, but this is going to be a problem with him and Shiv, because she's as ambitious as she is. The other thing, and I'll get ready to get off here, the other thing that we really see how badly Shiv is screwed up from how they were raised. We see the sit down with her mother. And her mother tells her, you're my onion. And her mother is like, I shouldn't have had kids. I don't even blame our relationship on you. I don't even blame you as a person for being the type of person you are. You get it from me. And this meeting and this face-to-face really pisses Shiv off and inspires her or motivates her to really put up the fight that she starts putting up by going to Logan about her brother's misconduct and his ongoing relationship with Jerry. So what she really, it's like, damn, this broad is like, this chick is truly messed up. From the conversation from her mother about some people aren't intended to be parents and shouldn't have children, she goes and has her conversation with her husband, Tom. And she's like, let's have a kid. And this is what Tom has been wanting to do all season for his own reasons. And they go through some situation where Shiv is like, she's messed up sexually too, but she's like, they'd start doing this dirty talk because that's part of their relationship. But Tom is like, this shit is going too far. Like, do you really mean this shit? And she's like, well, you know that I don't love you, but you love me still. And you'll do anything to try to make me love you, but I really don't love you, but I love you. And it's that constant, they constantly like dangle these carrots or these these pieces of cheese to one another. And that's what she kind of holds over Tom's head. I said also Tom has been emasculated because of the fact that his wife is, one, she's a Roy. And then secondly, with her as president, she's his boss. So he's all over the place in trying to be a man in his own house when she has the power that she has. And then he's an outsider of the family anyway. So it's like this kid thing is kind of his way of being, the man that he wants to be, but she doesn't want to have kids. So they had this real interesting conversation. It looks like they go on and get busy that night. And then the next morning they're walking around before breakfast. And Tom is like, hey, last night was good. Maybe there's a pregnancy in play. But some of the stuff you said, did you mean that stuff? Are you able to get into character that well? If you're acting, you're doing a damn good job. And Shiv is just like on some real, we can, I kind of want kids, but let's freeze some eggs. And they have this weird back and forth about freezing eggs, and maybe we can come back to this later when we get further down the line. And then Tom is like, well, what you're talking about is like 10 years from now. Like, I want kids now. And you just kind of see how manipulative she is and how Tom is just kind of there for convenience. And he's realizing he's just along for the ride and that his wife is a freaking psychopath. He's realizing that this whole family is really messed up, but he's a part of it. So how long does he play his role? So I thought that was kind of the key to this episode, was Siobhan kind of fully taking off her mask and revealing just how cold-hearted she is. She's probably as equal a savage as her father, but and then maybe even worse because she's motivated by how her father has manipulated her to this point. And now that she's figuring it out, they say, there's nothing worse than a woman scorned. And her father has, pulled a stool out from under her like 3 or 4 times now. Her brother disrespected her during her speech when he was playing the Nirvana song, the Rape Me joint. And so Siobhan is kind of on fire right now. But again, I thought this was a very good episode for the show. I was kind of getting a little tired of the insults between the kids, like the endless amount of insults between them. I thought that was getting a little played out. And so this kind of brought it back to what's going to happen with the business. And so I'm excited. Next week will be the season finale. Like I said, again, only 9 episodes. I don't know what that's about instead of 10. The other thing here was you see Roman. He goes and has the meeting with Madsen. And again, they do all of this, the horseplay and the fraternity jokes or the locker room jokes, and humiliate one another, and they're vying for the attention of their father, or trying to be selected as trying to solidify themselves as his successor. And Roman is kind of he's showing himself of what he's showing what his skill is, but it could go bad for him, because he can't get this deal done, and it's very important for the company that they bring this Gojo in and make that happen. So like I said, I think they leave an opening for Kendall, who's down bad, real bad right now. It might be a way to get him back in the game for next season, and maybe that's how the family reunites, until season 4. So like I said, Succession is one of my favorite shows that I'm watching right now. It's just it was a bit of a weird season for it, and again, I said this on the recap the other day or from last week. I just think it might have been a matter of maybe they couldn't do certain things because of COVID and the pandemic, and so maybe that's why the scale or the scope of the show was kind of drawn back in to focus so much on the relationships of the family members. But yeah, this episode right here, man, I didn't know Siobhan was messed up like that, but it'll be interesting to see, what she does, because she is more conniving than her 2 brothers. She's more conniving and more manipulative and able to play all this. She's a better chess player, and that's coming from the world of politics, as when she was a consultant and whatnot. So that's probably why she's got one up on her 2 brothers. But for some reason or another, it just seems like none of it is pleasing her father. And it's really, her father is probably just competitive. Like, I don't want to give you credit. I see the moves that you can make, and I see that you know what you're doing and whatnot, but it's still my show. It's still his game. And whereas maybe he can count on Kendall and Roman to screw up at certain points, he doesn't really know what Siobhan's weakness is, except for the fact that she wants to be loved or accepted, you know, so badly. Maybe that's her only weakness. So it's crazy, man. The family is wild, but hey, we'll see what happens next week in the finale. Let me get on out for here. Thanks for rocking with me. Hit that like button if you like any any of the reviews and recaps of the show. You know, stick around and subscribe to the channel. Pay me no mind, sports and entertainment. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.